All right, hello everyone. It's Mystic Juicer back with some more Yomi action. And it is that time again. It is 19XX format time. Southpaw Hare versus Copper, round one. We've got a perfect 32-man bracket, which I was very, very happy to be able to say. So that's always nice to see. No buys. Everybody has the same. Is going to play the same amount of games, assuming they go through winners or losers bracket, which I enjoy quite a lot. Nothing. It's a little bit discouraging sometimes when you get eliminated from a tournament. You look at your record, it's like, but I won so many games in a row, and you're looking at somebody, it's like, how did they finish above me? It's like, oh, okay, well, I got some buys in the early rounds. And they played better and all that stuff. But whatever. It's the buys that really bother me. So yes, so just a few words about this format. So again, this is first to four, standard counter pick, blind pick in the first round. The only difference between it and kind of the basic format is that we have four character bans. So banning Trock, Zane, Geiger, and Gray. Kind of the consensus top tiers, and also some of the most commonly played characters. So it is not uncommon to see sets where they feature very, very heavily. Of course, I play Trock very heavily as well. He's a very strong character. But it is nice to be able to watch and commentate some games between characters that we don't see all that often. And I think by and large, the 19XX format has a kind of interesting metagame as well. So I'm always excited to see that develop a little bit. We might shake it up in the next season, depending on the results and kind of how I feel about this tournament and how it goes. We've had Setsuki mains win the first two instances of the tournament, so see if maybe that should change. Interesting. Okay, so we're seeing Rook versus Manelker. So Copper, I'm not surprised to see Manelker from him. I am a little bit surprised to see Rook from Southpaw Hare. Not a character he often goes to. Again, 19XX format and all that. Get to see some of that fun action. And this actually makes a lot of sense. I think as an opener, I think Rook is a very strong character against Manelker in particular. He's just got, he's got grappler mix-ups. His throws deal, a seventh of Manelker's health whenever they hit, so it's not as bad. You don't feel as bad for having kind of bad throw damage in this matchup. And he's just got a lot of nice tools. He's got that just extra bit of hit points compared to a character like Grave or Midori. So he can afford to absorb some of these early hits. Okay, Copper going for a hand building strat here, trying to develop a little bit. So he's got an 8-card hand to a 6-card hand for Rook. So he's got a nice bit of a position here. You can get in trouble as Rook in this matchup if Manelker gets a couple of really good reads and combat wins in the early game. Copper going in with the taunts and starting to establish his Copper system here. So are we going to see the immediate queen? That is the odds-on favorite as the combat reveal of choice on this next turn. But hey, sometimes he'll throw in a throw or a block. There you go. It's trying to fish for special blocks there. You can't always rely on the system. That's why the system is so good. You never know. Your opponent can never know when you're going to act like a complete goon and just play queen after queen after queen, or if you're actually going to play the 7 as the throw. Okay. So good patience from Southpaw Hare. Is like, you're going to play it. You know you want to play it. And Copper's like, okay, only need, what would be 45 more reveals like that, and we have this game in the bag. I guess -7 because you'd have 7 special blocks that would prevent that. So 52. 52 more queens, and this game is over. There we go. No one expects immediate second queen. So Southpaw Hare does have a fairly good hand size here. He can choose to rock armor this. Rock armoring the 4, though, is always kind of sketchy. You don't get a ton of mileage off of it. He is going to do it anyway because Manalkar does have relatively little health. So he is going to get some mileage out of this. Deal that 18, which isn't bad. It's only 6 off of max damage, so it's not terrible. It just always feels weird. Like if I'm going for a rock armor attempt, why not like put the biggest normal I have on the table? The 4 doesn't really hedge against anything in this matchup, unless he was specifically counting on undercutting a 5 or a 6, which I suppose makes sense. Copper has he had that little bait where he was talking about, oh, you know, where's the second king, my dude? So could have been an elaborate set of valuation traps. Okay, we see the queen come out again. Bo. Still, Southpaw Hare looking, you know, he's barely done anything, and he is working on a basically almost 40 hit point lead. So that's working out quite nicely for him. Manalkar can catch that up pretty quickly off of a correct read if he's got the right cards in hand. The fact that he's already spent, you know, 2 kings is an indicator that he may not have all that much more damage in hand. Certainly not in the form of a massive combo. We haven't seen any jacks yet appear. Could see some of that come out. Now that Rook is at 10 cards, we could see jacks as starters starting to come out, especially with so many queens and kings in the discard. Okay, that would have been a trade in Copper's favor. Instead, he will take another 6. Southpaw Hare is spending the special blocks. I don't think this matchup is one where you particularly need the 5 blocks. I suppose they can be handy in the late game if Manalkar gets himself to a nice big hand and is threatening queens a lot and is at relatively low hand. Ooh, there we see the king fishing for that big damage. And a 50 damage life deficit here for Copper. Okay, Southpaw Hare powering up for aces. Copper not powering up for queens. So we could see just a joker come out. Joker would be entirely safe. You do have to worry about ace-ace here. Okay, hits him with the jack instead. Little surprise there. 23. Let's see. So 23 would have been lethal to max damage rock armor play. That's possibly why Copper played the block there, because he's probably saving the any aces he has to try to make a Deathstrike Dragon comeback, which at this point I think is almost necessary for him to come back in the game, unless he has a very, very specific hand. Southpaw Hare might be working off of Checkmate Buster. No, okay, going for the rock armor setups. Copper taking this opportunity to build a bit of a hand at this point. Could see some power-ups. Looking for either the queen. I think fetching at least one queen, if he's got enough power-ups to get Deathstrike Dragon and has one left over for queen, I think fetching the queen would be a good idea on his part. He has started to condition Southpaw Hare. Southpaw Hare certainly has heard of the legend of the Copper system. Okay, see a face down here. Yeah, fairly likely that this is real. But if Copper has a 7, yeah, it's a good idea to throw that out there. And probably going to take the 3 away and then queen him. 3 aces is kind of awkward, though. You don't really want to leave 3 aces in Rook's hand for very long. Let's see, are there any good targets? Okay, yeah, there we go. Power's up for the 4th ace. So we've got 4 aces and a 9. The 9 is the really important part. Everything else is beaten by queen. Notably, just 3 special blocks spent. He's got a fair hand size, but again, we know that there's no. He didn't start that turn with a special block in hand. So if Copper doesn't have the 4th queen in hand, he does have to deal with this ace-ace slash checkmate buster mix-up the honest way by being correct. See what happens. Okay, yeah, went for the joker. Trying to get aces the easy way. Southpaw Hare did pick up a 2, so went for the unknown block off of the 2 there, rather than block with the 9. Just hedging against possible brave cross-ups. If I'm Southpaw Hare, I maybe block one more time. The Joker probably tells me he doesn't have my Deathstrike Dragon. Yeah, but he might have the second Joker. Yeah. I'm gonna give myself a call. I'm gonna call that. I'm gonna say that was a read. Okay, there we go. Now we see the power-ups for Queen. No, we have no Deathstrike Dragon in hand, unless these two gold bursts were the greatest valuation trap in the history of mankind, and he plays Deathstrike Dragon right now. That would be godlike, and I want to see it. I want to see it so bad. So Southpaw Hare's got to think very hard how much he believes that Copper will just play the damn queen. And how much he's really risking by respecting the queen. I think blocking here makes a fair amount of sense for Southpaw. Ooh, okay, he's going for rock armor, and yes, that will be GG unless he does something silly and discards the 2 spades out of his hand. Nicely played on Southpaw Hare's part. We know he's got the queen. Excellent use of aces. Just setting up all possible combinations of rock armor. Good stuff. Okay, game 1 goes to Southpaw Hare, commanding health total at the end of that game. And Copper really didn't have the tools in hand to call that even. If he had had Deathstrike Dragon, would have called that basically an even match. Because both of them were essentially 1 or 2 combat wins away from taking it. Okay, Copper staying in the matchup, of course. If Copper wins this one, we may see Southpaw Hare switch, but I don't think there's a character that I know that he plays that is legal in this format that does better than Rook against Manelker, to be quite honest. Okay, opens with the special block. Kind of a low value move, actually, against Manelker. The worst that's going to happen is you reflect an ace, maybe, is the best you can hope for. And at that point, I mean, just blocking the ace and drawing the additional card, getting your hand size up, probably more valuable. So this could be an indicator that Southpaw Hare doesn't have, okay, yes, could be an indicator that he does not in fact have other blocks in hand. And if Copper catches on before he's able to draw into one, this could be a very difficult matchup for Southpaw Hare indeed. So he's not immediately playing a card, so that could mean he hasn't drawn a block. or it could mean that I'm just wrong about my valuation. Okay, Southpaw Hare playing very aggressively. Trying to... could also indicate the fact that he has a either a joker or some high value card that he doesn't want to get bone crackered. Copper now activating his neutral, which is I'm going to play queen or I'm going to throw you. Ooh, Southpaw Hare leans into it. The system is being disrespected. Can this be allowed to continue? So Copper has basically the option of block even or wake up queen here to cover all possible options. Nice, gets him with the queen. All right. Establishing the system. Basically telling Southpaw Hare, right now I'm batting 50-50 on playing the queen after powering up for it. And this is a very good situation for Copper right now. He has a very nice hand size. Can't really speak to the quality of the hand, but it looks like it's probably pretty scary to deal with. And Southpaw Hare is at a 7-card hand, which is definitely a hand size where Rook is still playing the throw block and very, very occasionally look for a throw duff with a normal attack. Ooh, counter throws the 7. Nicely done. Copper wary of playing attack cards into Southpaw Hare, because he has played a fair amount of blocks in the first match. And he does not want to feed that card drawing monster. So last time Southpaw Hare king threw on Copper's knockdown. See what happens here. Okay, we see an 8 attack. Very unlikely that this is going to get rock armored. He can try to go for it, but it's going to make the rest of the game very, very dicey. He can deal a substantial amount of damage here, bringing Copper essentially to half of his remaining health. Yeah, okay, so he is going to go for it. Does he have a queen for the cool 18? Or is he just going to deal 8? Ooh, I don't think those were resources particularly well spent. Copper definitely has an opportunity here to get back in the match. 12 cards to 4. He is in the driver's seat. He's just got to make the right read on a block or throw turn. Nice block. Defangs the gold burst. And now that 40 hit point health total, or those 40 hit points are looking much, much more than they actually are. Getting rid of Rook's ability to play ace-ace is very, very strong. Okay, gets rid of a joker from the deck. That is both jokers gone. Could have also started looking for the aces. Those are probably going to be his next target. Getting rid of Checkmate Buster is very important, and reducing the chance. Ooh, this could be very costly. If Southpaw Hare has a 7 and an 8, it's going to do considerable amount of damage. Okay, no, it just goes into the 14. Sitting at 2 cards now. That is still, I think, at this point, a strategic combat loss for Copper. Dealing with a 3-card Rook. Ooh, but Southpaw Hare is making it work. Knocks Copper down, deals him 5 damage, gets a mix-up opportunity here. Also a very strong block opportunity. Copper picks up a queen, saying, you better block, or correctly throw my block, or counter throw me, actually, is the far more likely situation. Wow, okay, just goes for the 7. So it is impossible for him to rock armor this. He's just going to take the combat loss. He's going to be sitting at 2 cards in hand on the next turn. So still Copper in a good position here to turn this game around. Okay, goes for the double pump, just trying to cash in as much damage as he can. Rock Armor is impossible. He's only got one card in hand at that point. This can be tense when you're playing against a grappler with this low a hand, because you're never really sure, are they going to be completely crazy? Are they going to play the obvious block that they want to be playing? Are they going to go nuts and just put a 10 out there and happen to have, a queen and draw another card and deal the remaining 24 damage? Yeah, it can be tough stuff. All right, gets queen and single ace. Single aces are, if he hangs on to them, can actually be quite effective at just punishing rock armor attempts later on in the game. Okay, there we go. Southpaw Hare gets a successful block off. Gets himself to a 4-card hand, 1 known 9 in hand. No other 9s in the discard, so not really an opportunity for Copper to take a good snipe on Into Oblivion. Try to reduce Rook's hand size in that way. Ooh. So even if he rock armors, it's going to be just for 8. Okay, gets rid of the known 9 there. So 2 mystery cards in hand. Oh, big damage. 44 points of damage here for Copper. That explosive that explosive damage. And now we could see Copper shift fully into the system. Achieve perfected Manelker. Just queens all day for the rest of the match. We know he's got 1. So Southpaw Hare does have to be aware of that. Ooh, just plays the ace, going for the chip. All right, 3 queens away from victory. Or 1 really gutsy jack. He does not lose if he reveals a jack here. Ooh, yep. So unless Southpaw Hare draws a special block, he is dead on this next turn. That is a known queen in hand. So only a special, since his jokers are gone, only a special block gets him out of this. Okay, that's special block number 1. Rip. All right, does Copper have the other one? I'm pretty sure. Oh, okay, yeah, there we go. Discards the 7s, powers up for queen. And at this point, it's not even a mix-up. It's the pure system. He's mathed it out perfectly. Yeah. So notably he did have Deathstrike Dragon in hand, but went for the more conservative and consistent means of killing. Unless this is also a bait by Southpaw Hare, and he does in fact have. Okay, yes, getting special blocks out of the way now as well. Excellent. So that is all the 3s gone, 3 5s remaining though. So not impossible that he would have them. There we go. Cleans up game 2. Don't draw 5. All right, good stuff. So nicely played by Copper there. Nicely navigating Southpaw Hare's low hand play. See if Southpaw Hare switches out or if he simply makes the adjustment back to a more solid, slower, more consistent style that he played in game number 1. Okay, switches to Gwen instead. Interesting. So this should be a pretty rapid match. Yes, Gwen meta 2017. Let's see how real it is. Oh, God. Oh, God. It's looking not very real at the moment. That is a pretty big death. Sending a message. No follow-up on that 6. Copper can probably get away with a couple of kings, some fast side of jacks if he wants to here. He's not too worried about taking a combat loss, especially to something like a king. Because, hey, what's Gwen going to do with a 7-card hand? Is that not what you do against grapplers? Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, you got me. All right, evening up those life totals. This should be a pretty difficult match for Gwen, I think, given that Minelker has recurring 0.0 speed moves that will shut down everything except her dodge plays. And if she starts dodging too much, then you've got a very effective means of punishing that with your 7 throws, or just straight up Death Strike Dragon, if you've got the hand size to support it, and it looks like Copper is building to that. Nice. I like this steadfast down backing. Not afraid to get relentless struck relentlessly lead. Her attacks are too fast. Yeah, 4 points of damage for not 3 cards, but I guess she gets normal draw. But yeah, you can't be mad at that. That is definitely a combat loss you are happy to take as Minelker. Trading out an 8 for some more valuable card. And still steadfast down backing. I like this adjustment. Copper saying, you've got to come to me. I'm going to sit here and build a hand and assemble all of the queens and all of the aces, and you're just going to have to guess right for the remainder of the game. This is definitely one of those matchups where every hit queen is probably going to be pumped like absolute minimum once, probably twice, because a 16 damage uppercut is pretty damn good when your opponent is slowly dying. There we go. The system back in full swing. You're like, okay, well, you think I'm going to play it 50% of the time? No. Another one. Oh, wow, no. Wow, I was incorrect. We're going to see the immediate power up? No, okay, he's just going to wait. Sit at 12 cards, 12 cards in hand, Jesus. And we'll probably see another queen immediately come out here, and then power up 4 queens. It's a good way of extending your ability to continuously play them, is just by playing them essentially as 0.0 speed normals. Sick as that is. Has he caught on, though? Does Copper persevere? Can he dragon punch through the wall? So that is 110 down. Definitely think playing those early is probably a good thing. If you're checkmated in the late game by queens, you're probably going to die anyway. All right. So you only powered up once this time, so probably no pump. Yeah, wants to be able to do that very consistently. So looking for pairs and triplets. Okay, no power up there. Do you think that means that Copper has found a red queen? I'm thinking that's like 80%. He's got a red queen in hand. Could see a throw here from Southpaw Hare. Try to get in, or a king. I think throw or king, some kind of big damage starter is very likely. A 2 attack is not outside the realm of possibility. Okay, Copper was looking for the attack. Southpaw Hare, aside from that first throw, and I think he's thrown once or twice. He definitely threw into a queen at one point. Yeah, threw into the second black queen, I think. Ooh, this could be big. The 3 attack probably means he's got a joker. Either that or he is on a 12 card hand and absolutely starved for options, and I really don't believe that. If he is, though, this could be a lot of damage. So it's going to be 14 if it's double. Ooh, okay, interesting. Spaghetti Gwen combos. All right, Southpaw Hare looking to spend just enough so that he can draw up to 13, basically. Saying you've probably got the Joker there. It's very unlikely that you would be playing a 3 in neutral at this stage of the game with that amount of confidence. The 3 also notably was there to contest the starter side of Jack. Yeah, I've got to agree. The being like hedging on that one was really good. I don't know if I would have gone with the Queen, because the Queen, well, I guess no, it's probably not all that important in this matchup because you are completely outclassed by Manelker's Queen. So you probably actually want to hold on to as many dodges as possible instead, so that you can play dodge into Dreadlands Portal games. Okay, hits him with the Okie Doke. Just gonna play that Queen. Copper expertly hiding his true range through those versus Rook games. And working on a nice 30 hit point lead here. Continuously getting those queens back, which means that he is never at risk of eating a combo starter. And that is exactly the combat loss he wants to take. That is absolutely the loss he was looking to take. Definitely the least scary of possible combat losses there. If that Jack had been the starter, that would have been curtains for Manelker. So unfortunately, I think that Southpaw Hare is trying. Ooh, gets him with the 7th throw. Yeah, he's going to pull that Joker immediately. We've got a single block in hand. Yeah, and he's just going to cash out damage. There it is. Game over. Nicely done by Copper. Defeats the Gwen counterpick. Ended up being a fairly slow game after all. Copper playing a very, very conservative range. So we'll see. So Copper goes up to 2-1. Let us see what Southpaw Hare decides to make his character choice. Is he going to stick with Gwen? Does he feel confident in it? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Manelker can power up, like, he can do crazy vape tricks. Better power up. Yeah, so are we going to see the switch back to Rook? I think Rook definitely a more consistent counterpick to Manelker than Gwen. Just honestly a more consistent character overall. For you. Whoa. All right. So does Copper know how to play the mirror? More importantly, does Southpaw Hare know how to play the mirror? All right, opening up with the King. Classic King stuff. Immediate dodge into Bonecracker? No. Immediate dodge into Bleeding Wounds. Okay, this brings them both down to a 6-card hand. Oh, sorry, no. He gets the card back for because of the black face cards. What is that ability called? Bleeding Wounds? Yeah, Bleeding Wounds. Have a purple thing. All right. Okay, takes a slight life lead. Spends a jack. Black Jack is actually a nice combo filler off of throws in the early game. Nice block on Copper's part. Defeats the queen. Goes up in hand size. This feels like a very vicious matchup. Like, you're both glass cannons. You want to be probably, as a result, playing queen as much as possible. But throws will actually hurt you. Like, throw 6 jack is what, 13, 19 damage. It's pretty significant for a 70 health character. Nearly a third of your hit points. We're going to see, yes, goes for the Bone Cracker, and wow, that is a pretty trash hand. Do you get rid of the 6 and threaten a 3 cross up or a 2 cross up? No, it takes away the 5. Interesting. Okay. Probably an okay Joker on Southpaw Hare's part, to be quite honest. They're both on such low hands that Into Oblivion, yeah. I suppose it's not terrible to Into Oblivion there. You don't want to give your opponent... You don't want to give... As Manelker, you don't want to give your opponent any chance to gain any additional hit points that they possibly can. Developing a hand against Manelker is actually quite good. So there's that. Okay, Copper goes for the 2. It's absolutely safe reveal to the known hand. There were 3 mystery cards in that hand, though, because of the Joker. Okay, immediate power up for Queen. 6 cards versus 7. Copper should feel relatively confident to be able to block. That was an unknown 7, so it's fairly unlikely that Southpaw Hare would have drawn into another one. And he didn't really... Wow, he did. So nicely played on Southpaw Hare's part. No reason not to go for it. Unfortunately, the system keeps you safe. The system it just wins. It wins. It just beats... It's undefeatable. You cannot beat the system. There are so few plays that beat the system. Ooh, gets the queen. Yeah, immediate banishment of the red queen there. Okay. All right, gets his queen as well. So both down, 1 black queen, 1 red queen. Southpaw Hare also down both of his jokers. So still favoring Copper here. Also 2 7s spent for Southpaw Hare. That is pretty important. I haven't seen any kings come out though. Ooh, there it is. Turns out it's a Bone Cracker into Get Bodied is a true combo. All right, we can see the face down from Copper. That's the question. I think he's already passed, actually. Waiting for opponent. No, okay, it's still on Copper's turn. He's thinking about whether he wants to put a card face down. Every second that goes by indicates that it is more and more a bluff. Unless he's timer baiting him, which is incredible, quite frankly. But I don't know if you even follow this up. He knows that Southpaw Hare doesn't have... Yeah, okay, does eventually pass. He knows Southpaw Hare doesn't have other black face cards in hand that he knows of, so, you know, why not? Still a lot of damage, but Southpaw Hare on 1 card in hand. Or 2 cards on this next turn, and we know how that turned out for him last time. Have another purple thing. Oh, is it? It's a reference to the jacks. Oh yeah, the orbs. Okay, I was like, wait, he didn't dodge that time. All right, I got it. I'm onto it. I'm onto the lingo. Just updating the Urban Dictionary for Yomi. Okay, block. Still definitely favoring Copper here. He's got a 30 card or a 30 hit point deficit, but he's got a 2 card lead. And more importantly, his opponent is at exactly 3 cards. 3 cards is a lot to have to do. 3 cards is very little to have to do 30 points of damage for. If you've got the right cards, it can absolutely be enough. But I think Copper is just going to take this opportunity to build up a bit of a hand. He does, I believe, have a known queen in hand. Pretty sure. Yes, he does. Ooh, hits him with the 2. This could be big. Does he have a king to be able to combo into? No, okay. Just goes for the poke, keeping Southpaw at 4, putting himself up to 7 cards, maintaining the threat of queen. I think a Southpaw Hare, you might be able to get away with a few more throws here. Okay, no. Gets the right block off. Getting to a more even, stable footing here. So favor, match favor, definitely swinging back over to Southpaw Hare's side. I like the way that Copper is playing these queen games, though. I think he could have been a little bit more aggressive with throws this time around, because I think Southpaw Hare has definitely been conditioned by that last game. He's like, okay, you are going crazy with the queens. I'm going to block way, way more when you've got one in hand. Okay, that's good damage. 17. Again, keeping a 4-card hand, but 4-card hand and facing down 13 hit points is a very different story than a 4-card hand facing down 30. Basically, anything into anything is going to deal a considerable amount. Okay, good block on Copper's part here. We have no other queens yet played for Southpaw Hare. Okay, double power up gets queen back. Yeah, if you don't get a queen here, that's just insane. Okay, has only 2 cards in hand though. No, okay, yeah, 3 cards in hand. Okay, so the threat is queen and you die. Or so if you don't block the queen, you die. Or if I've got a throw and literally anything that isn't a queen, you also die. Nice block on the dodge. Copper playing as patiently as he can. Is this the turn he goes for Death Strike? Okay, here we go. Yeah, powers up the remaining into Oblivions. We don't need those where we're going. So that is 3 aces powered up for. Known queen on Southpaw Hare's side. No jokers. Is it going to be raw Death Strike? Oh, he went for the dodge. Southpaw Hare with the disrespectful throw. Does he have the joker? No. Cleans it up. Evening out the match 2-2. Taking it in the mirror. So is Copper going to switch? That's the question. Does he dislike the mirror enough? No, he does not. Doesn't matter. DP more. You did this. Oh man. Sometimes you just gotta say, you did this to you. To quote Movies with Mikey. I think this is a fantastic matchup. This is tense as hell. Okay, nice block. So you don't want to banish this one. So that is an absolutely safe queen in the discard. Does mean that he can't play another red queen until he plays a black queen, because if he gets the red, if the other red queen hits the discard, then Copper gets a black queen for free. Okay. Queen measuring contest here. Copper definitely gets the advantage on that, having the black queen. Oh, he's got to be careful about not leaving that in the discard. Yeah. So that is 1 black queen gone. Pays for that. Got to be careful about leaving those in the trash. Always recycle your queens if you can. Still 9-card hand to an 8-card hand. Fairly even stuff. No real damage so far. Ooh, had the second one. Are we going to see a second banish? Do you do? Okay, just gets him with the bleeding wounds. Is likely just to be 9 damage. Does even up the card count though. That's important. Could have drawn into another 10. That will be very, very critical. All right, still not a terrible position to be in here. Okay, and Southpaw Hare does not have the 10s. So Copper's got to scramble to find a pair to get that queen back. Otherwise, he will be in trouble. And he is now locked out of playing that red queen, because if he ever does, there's no way for him to get the queen back, and it will almost certainly be immediately banished. Ooh, okay. That's it's not a great combat win, but Southpaw Hare has been really aggressive on these turns, so it's not inconceivable that he might decide to just cash out as much damage as possible, try to take the life lead in a big way. Yep, and he does. Goes down to 4-card hand, and Copper has another opportunity to do the same thing he did in game 2, which is try to manipulate and manage this low-card Manelker and come ahead by playing kind of a value game. Not typically a style of gameplay that Manelker can win. Oh, that's really rough. That is an absolutely brutal top deck, or a very, very clever card to hold back on that last turn. So again, he's got an even more limited ability to go in on this turn. Okay, and he does the exact same thing that I talked about in the first half of the game. We now have 2 red queens. Copper can do the same thing to him as Southpaw Hare did, so at any time he can snipe those queens and pick out the black ones. Ooh! That is a good combat win. He can now double dip as well. If he's got the 10, and Southpaw Hare doesn't pick that queen up, then he's going to lose both black queens and be without a DP for the rest of the match. At this point, though, it doesn't really matter. At 20 hit points, it's not like Copper can afford to take more than 1 DP anyway. Okay, Southpaw Hare resolutely holding down back there. So we've got an established kind of rhythm here. Copper is threatening Deathstrike Dragon, but okay, it gets probably the queen back. Yeah, maybe the king. Yeah, okay. Those are good pieces. He can now kill off of a 2.2 speed attack reveal. Oh, he had the 10s. Okay, yeah, I don't disagree with powering them up though. That is 3 known aces, single known black queen in hand for Copper. So that is 4 out of the 9 cards known. Very good odds that he has a dodge. Fairly good odds, maybe, that he has... Yeah, I mean, within 17 cards, do you think you've picked up a 1 ace and then powered up for the rest? I think those are pretty good odds. So I think you do have to respect Deathstrike Dragon here. So Southpaw Hare has the Joker. I think he mashes queen here. Ooh. It looks like Copper either does not have it or did not believe, expecting Southpaw Hare to go for the trade. So that probably indicates now to him that, okay, you don't have the Joker. So you may be playing more of a... there may be more block in your range simply because you think the queen protects you from raw Deathstrike Dragon. So that's 2 blocks in a row. Are we going to see rule of 3s come into play here? Do we see an attack from Southpaw Hare? We do, and unfortunately Copper walks right into it. And it is very likely that he is now going to go down 3-2. So Southpaw Hare wants to spend as few of his cards as possible. Probably wants to hold on to the queen. Wow, that's rude. Double Black King. Copper tosses away. So he did have the dodge. Just expected the throw to come out. Okay, that is 17. Still needs to pump one more time. And that is lethal. Nicely done on Southpaw Hare's side. So, a commanding victory. 66 hit points. Now, again, same rule as in the first matchup. Copper did have Deathstrike Dragon in hand. So, technically, that was like 11 hit points to, 20 at the end there. Depending on if Deathstrike Dragon hit or it didn't. Copper's a character loyalist, man. You can't. There's nothing to scare him off too. That's unfortunate. Yeah, it can be tricky. Okay, so Southpaw Hare is on set point here. Needs one more win. Copper needs 2. So if Southpaw Hare takes a loss here, he gets one more opportunity to counterpick if he wants. But I think, his performance in the Ditto has been very good. He's taken 2 games. Okay, that is 2 blocks in a row. Again, we'll see if Southpaw Hare makes the adjustment. Both of them broke last time. Yeah, and both of them break again. Neither of them willing to risk the predictable 3rd block in a row. And Southpaw Hare, once again, coming ahead in the exchange. Okay, pumps it once just to get that more than 10 damage. He's at a 9-card hand. Pumping it there, yeah, probably indicates that he's fairly confident in his hand composition. And he does have the pair in order to get his queen back. Protect that from any 10s that Copper might have. So still, fairly even matchup. We know that Southpaw Hare has a black queen in hand. We know nothing about Copper's hand. Nice block. That is the same black queen. See, another immediate power-up, okay. So Copper should be very happy with this exchange so far. Will we see Southpaw Hare adopt the Copper strats? Just play the queen again. Ooh! Okay. Copper looking to take an early advantage here. Putting as much damage in his hand as possible. Trying to win the hand development race. Does have to be careful about immediate 7. Okay, so confirmed. He has 4 aces in hand. Oh, no, sorry. Picks up 3 aces and a black queen. Okay, Joker dismissed. Was from the deck, not from the hand. Would have been pretty cheeky to have a second Joker in hand there. Still, 10 card, very likely Deathstrike Dragon Manelker. After like turn 4 is pretty gross. It's pretty strong. Alright, so Southpaw Hare has played pretty soft to Deathstrike Dragon on the immediate turn following. Copper looking to make it a guaranteed thing with the 7. Gets hit by the queen instead. Yeah, 7 there is a hedge against Southpaw Hare having another 7. Because if you've got 4, you've got 4 aces in hand, but you don't have an ability to power up, your opponent can defang you if they play the 7 and you do not Deathstrike Dragon them or you do not counterpoke them. They can remove that option from your hand, and you have invested, a pretty significant amount of potential health by playing the. Oh, it's unfortunate. It just has not been able to get those Deathstrike Dragons to hit. This is very rough. Cheap. Hacks. I'm calling. Okay, gets the Queen of Hearts, or the, sorry, Queen of Spades back. Far superior to the Queen of Hearts. All right, let's see if Copper can make a comeback. Ooh, it's not looking good. Low card Manelker on Southpaw Hare's side, but still, that is a lot of damage. Wow. A lot of aces in hand. And it's going to be very difficult with the Deathstrike Dragon in the discard to make this 50 hit point comeback. He's got to hit a very, very specific sequence of cards. It's like normal into king, and then like normal into jack for more damage, and then you've got like a hand again, and yeah, it's like it's looking very risky, and this is why we're seeing the attacks come out from Southpaw Hare. He's like, okay, so long as I don't run into like a 5 or a 6 attack, I'm probably going to be taking this. I can afford to play a little bit loose. Nice. Pokes out the 7. That's very critical. Reducing his hand further, but again, long, long road ahead of him. I think at this point you almost have to give up on the queens. Start looking for kings instead. Start looking for the damage. Start getting your aces back if you ever can. Does have a 9-card hand, so it's not impossible for him to start powering stuff up. Nice block on the black queen there. So we know he has a 10 in hand. Could see the queen sniped. Okay, going for aces. There we go. Getting that damage. Third ace. One more? Sick. All right. Still a fair amount of dodges in hand still. He's got 4 cards in hand, so it is it's going to be a tricky situation. Could have the opportunity to go in with a king here. So king, pump, pump, 6, ace, ace is, again, just like a billion damage. Okay, goes for the dodge. Their raw Deathstrike Dragon could have been lethal. Starting to run low on dodges. We've got 5 left. So again, the odds of one of those 5 being in his hand versus none of them being in his hand. I think it's fairly okay odds that he's still got 1. So if Southpaw Hare is gutsy, he may be able to clinch it with another clutch throw. Ooh, there we go. He still has jokers though. But I think Copper might just go in. Okay, no, goes for the Bone Cracker, trying to set up guaranteed here. Gets rid of the queen. Okay. So 2 6s in hand and 1 mystery card. No drawn jokers yet. Copper has an opportunity here. If he throws a block on this knockdown, puts Southpaw Hare at 1 hit point, he can come back. Good block. So no more. He's heavily implying he no longer has any dodges. That is at least 6 damage out of Southpaw Hare's hand. He does, however, get the normal draw, which is unfortunate for Copper. He would have far preferred a special move to come out there. But again, he is posturing like he does not have any dodges. So dodges from here on out should be pretty good. Okay, good block. Just biding time, trying to make it guaranteed. All right, now we've got the twin stick of Deathstrike Dragon versus Queen. Southpaw Hare also running low on dodges. He has 4 remaining. I believe that is the same. Let's see, 1, 2, yeah, 4 remaining dodges on both sides. Known Deathstrike Dragon, confirmed not Deathstrike Dragon. We still have at least 1 known 6 in hand. because of that 7 throw. So again, Southpaw Hare has to weigh, you know, like losing combat to a queen. Ooh, what is he going to pick? A 2. Okay, getting rid of dodges. Yeah, good stuff. Trying to take that away from him and then just spam queens because copper should, I think, I wasn't tracking which of them have been... Okay, there is one known queen in his hand. So he's got the... Okay, all right. Okay, so he has to discard the 6. Because otherwise yeah. So we've got 2 mystery cards. So he could have had him with the with Death Strike there. Tense moments, tense moments. Now, odds very good that he has one of those remaining dodges left. So Southpaw Hare has to keep track of what he's... Yeah, so gets rid of the last 3. So there should be only, I think, 2 dodges left. 1 4 and 1 2. Okay, gets gets him with the 3 here. Okay, so he can safely play queen continuously now. Unless this is a block, in which case he needs to Death Strike Dragon him. Ooh, gets him with the red one, and now it is top deck Manelker versus confirmed Queen Haver Manelker. Let's see, 1 block, 2 blocks. No, okay, so a fair amount of blocks still left in the deck. So you can't guarantee just mash it. But dodges are now incredibly strong for copper. Unless Southpaw Hare throws with a 7. Okay, builds a sleight hand here. Basically just wants to not lose to raw DSD. We could see blocks come out now, but he does have to put a fair amount, like he's got to play block attack range. He's got to defend himself against both sides of the mix-up. Ooh, this could be rough. This could be very rough. Gonna get 2 confirmed aces. Now that does mean that this last card has to be a dodge for this to be really threatening. Both jokers are gone, I believe, for copper, so he can't just spam queen. Ooh. Do we see 10s start coming out? Yes. Okay, he's going to start banishing. Oh, banishes the joker. Interesting. I don't know if that's the thing to worry about. Throws are lethal. I would think that you would want to cut off. But you can get the last 4, and then there's only 3 dodges left. He's on a 4-card hand. Gets rid of the 7. Okay. So that's all 7 throws gone. Okay, so now oh no, he doesn't have jokers. Okay, so he has to think about 8 as a throw. So there's 3, 4, 5 throws left in Southpaw Hare's deck. So he might be able to play soft to it. Oh no! Damn! Ah, that is rough. Nicely played by Southpaw. Very, very good games. Nicely played. Unfortunate for Copper. I always root for Copper whenever I see him. I love that dude. So unfortunately, he does go into losers in the first round. Southpaw Hare advances in the winner's bracket. Thank you all for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this never before seen matchup before. Yeah, looking forward to showing you some more of this fun stuff. Some variety in the Yomi. All right. Until next time, enjoy yourself some Yomi, and I will see you later. Cheers.